Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fantasy Showdown, presented by Farmers Insurance. I'm your host, Alan Cavana, and this is the show where we help you, our experts here, help you with your fantasy team. Our experts this week, TNT Pit reporter Marty Snyder. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I just want to know how Mike Ford's fantasy football team's doing.
He's bringing that up.
Goose egg, baby. Goose egg.
Well, he's bringing that up because he's sort of bitter because NASCAR numbers man Mike Ford is our big winner this week. Gloat a little bit, Mike.
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
Not only am I a big winner, my cushion is so big right now.
Oh, jeez. How about your points lead?
I don't know what he's talking about. So let's look at the points from Chicagoland. Mike Ford
was open.
Beat us all. 374
Here's
and a
the
half
problem
points.
I have with these standings. Okay, so like he finishes like 90th every week, and then he wins 2 weeks in a row.
Who's the number one seed?
It's like the chase. Mike Ford is number one seed.
You won once in February, and then you won once in April, and you won a couple times like in August.
Mike Ford won the regular season with all the bonus points. He's the Matt Kenseth of our league. Marty, you came in second.
I'm the Matt Kenseth of the league.
You came in second.
It's like the 9th week in a row I finished second.
I came, in fourth.
I guess that would make me the Casey Kane of the league.
Let's go to the next page because Mike Ford is still the leader. He was the leader going in. He's still the leader over Paulie Haraka.
Sickens
I'm
me.
third. Marty, you're way back in fourth, so that's why he's so bitter right now.
Last week, dude. What do you mean way back? I made a huge lead.
Matt Dillner, Chuck Bush, bringing up the rear.
Some props. Come on now.
Let's get to New Hampshire.
You're not winning again.
The last time you had a good race,
Alan, will you win this
was
week?
Still broadcasting races.
Dude, I have finished between second and fourth for like 3.5 months. I can't win. I can't finish worse than fourth.
Well, you know what? Let's put your money where your mouth is because we're going to make our picks.
Doesn't matter.
You're
I can't win.
Help our viewers. And because Mike Ford is the big winner, he's going to start us off with, we're going to New Hampshire. Who's your fantasy stud? Who do you have to have on your team?
All right. Big money driver right here. Clutch guy. It's playoff time. It's going to be Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon's coming off 4 consecutive top 10s at New Hampshire, 3 wins overall in his career, 9 consecutive races with a drive rating over 100. Love a good drive rating over 100. That means you got to start him. Fast laps running every single race we can keep in that stat. Long stretch, lots of bonus points for Jeff Gordon. Go with him.
Marty Snyder, he's got the stats.
I would make fun of that, but if you click over to the previous show, that's who I picked.
He's got the stats. You were looking at your phone 2 minutes before this, looking for your stats.
I was looking at stats to back up my knowledge.
I can't believe you had a bad
How about
lead.
that?
Who's your fantasy stud for New Hampshire?
I'm going to go with Brad Keselowski this weekend because if you look at recent tracks that are like New Hampshire, Richmond, Brad Keselowski was very fast there and had a very good chance to win that race. He had some problems towards the end of the race, but I think Brad has been very good at this type of racetrack. And if you look at his stats in New Hampshire, 4 straight finishes a 6 or better. They've been very good at that racetrack. I think Brad's going to be very strong this weekend. And he's kind of getting to be a decent money play, too. I mean, he's not like expensive like Jimmy Johnson and those guys. So I go with Brad K this weekend. He's going to get you a nice top 5 finish, maybe a win.
Good strategy play for your fantasy stud. Who's your fantasy dud? This is not a bad driver, just a driver maybe just too expensive for a track like New Hampshire.
My fantasy dud this weekend is the guy who's already moved on in his mind to IndyCar. He's got to lose about 30 pounds. Juan Pablo Montoya this weekend. Listen, he's not very good at New Hampshire. They've had 1 finish in the top 10 in their last 7 races at New Hampshire. JPM just hasn't put it together at that racetrack. He's been able to qualify well, but he's never been able to finish well. And I think that does not bode well for him this weekend. I know he ran well at Richmond in the spring. They almost won that race, but I just do not see JPM being very strong this weekend. Besides, Penske's already saying, hey, come over and run some IndyCar races at the end of the year, you know?
Well, maybe a little distracted there. Mike Ford, who's your fantasy dud for New Hampshire?
All right, this guy is going to cost you all kinds of money this weekend, especially this weekend. My dud is Matt Kenseth, believe it or not, the points leader. Coming off a win at Chicagoland, I don't think he's going to come even close to that New Hampshire. Here's some stats why. Only 1 drive rating over 100 since 2006. 9 of his last 11 races at New Hampshire outside of the top 10. 5 of those were outside the top 20. In 10 of his last 12 races at New Hampshire, only 2 races with laps led. So I don't think he's going to get bonus points or a good finish. Don't go with Matt Kenseth.
Where do you hide all this number? I want some of these numbers.
He makes it all up. Yeah, keep in mind, though, he was much better in the Gibbs car when he went there this
He's trying to throw
He
you
was
off.
finished 9th. If you're going to pay $28 for a 9th place finish, I don't think that's going to be a good one.
He's trying to throw you off. Sticking with you, Mike Ford. Now we're moving on to our Farmers Insurance Plan to Perform pick. This is a driver that's great value. Maybe a driver who's not going to cost you a lot of money. He'll get you a surprising top 10. Who is your Plan to Perform pick?
All right, this isn't a crazy going out on a limb pick, but Brian Vickers obviously won earlier this year in July, and it wasn't a fluke win. If you look at the numbers coming in, he was very, very strong. He's had top 10s in back-to-back races at New Hampshire. 3 of his last 4 finishes at New Hampshire are top 10. He's led laps in 3 of the last 4 races at New Hampshire. So he's going to get bonus points there, too. So
you know what we call that in the fantasy business? We call that a layup. We all knew that. Come on, my son Emmett picked that. He was 8. He's 8. He picked that.
All right, then who is your plan to perform pick?
You all made fun of me when I told you Jeff Burton would be your plan to perform pick for Richmond. What'd he do? He ran great. Also at New Hampshire in the spring, finished 3rd, and he ran there all day long. He didn't luck into a 3rd-place finish in July at New Hampshire. They literally ran there, led a lot of the race. So I'm going to go with Jeff Burton this weekend, and he's always one of those guys. I don't know about you guys when you're making your lineup. There are always like that 5 or 6 guys you're looking at. You're like, oh, I got to pick one of these guys. Jeff Burton's that guy this weekend, and he'll surprise you. He'll get you some good numbers as well.
Well, there you have it. Take their advice for what it's worth. They're the big scores, so it'll hopefully help your fantasy team. That's the show for now. If you need any more help, we always post our fantasy update Saturday evening, the night before the race, so you can make all those changes you need to before the big race. And if you want all the stats and numbers you could ever ask for, go to NASCAR.com/fantasy. So for Mike Ford, for Marty Snyder, I'm Alan Cavanna. Good luck this weekend in New Hampshire.